Hey guys, Matt here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a look at something big. Really big. This is a custom Axial SCX6, and let me pull you guys off the tripod and we'll get a closer look. Just so you guys get an actual scale of how big this thing is. This is just your typical Capra, and it is just, it's massive. This thing it's huge. It's 6 scale. So my reasoning behind building this thing is I got it and in just one weekend, I just thrashed the body. The whole, it just cracks, falling apart. It was just too heavy. So I decided, I always wanted to build a tube chassis, and I was like, instead of spending a bunch of money on bodies, I'll just build this and it should hold up really good. And it does so far. All these body panels are just aluminum. They're 18 gauge aluminum, and they should hold up pretty well. I don't mind if they get dented and stuff. I think it would look really cool. There's a few more on the car still. I didn't take the rear panels off. Those guys there, and I also didn't take the grill off, but a lot of screws. There's a lot of screws for just body panels. So just the overview of the car, most of the rod is 5/16. It's all solid rod, just steel, normal steel. And there is some 3/16, or I think it's quarter for some of the smaller tubes, like the intrusion bars and the bull bar. We have the transmission, the motor ESC is all stock still. I will hopefully be upgrading to the 3 Pros RC 8S stuff soon with a Castle ESC, but it's expensive. So it's gonna wait a little bit. It's all MIG welded. I didn't have a TIG welder at the time, but I did grind a lot of the welds, but they're not too bad. Everything's clean enough for me. The steering servo, we have a NSD-RC 2500, which is direct powered off a 4S, off a 16.8 volts for just the servo. I have this voltage regulator right here, also by NSD-RC, just to make sure that there's no spikes in voltage, or when I do upgrade later to 8S, I don't have to worry about it. It'll automatically kick it down there. That servo is mounted to a Vitavon forward mounted servo housing box mount thing, I guess you would call it. It's those 2 crossbars and the receiver box, which is right there. What else we have up here? We have the stock grill and headlights are actually mounted in there. You can see them behind that. I wanna paint the grill or the radiator silver. I think it would look pretty cool and stand out a little bit more than it does now. It also uses the stock interior with the stock driver. I did shorten it. It was much longer. It ran the whole length of the vehicle all the way to the back before. So I just made some cuts and screwed it together, kind of like a little short 4-seater car. We have the RC 4-wheel drive winch up here, which has done pretty good so far. I don't think it can pick the car up, but it's good enough to mess around with outside on the trail. So On the car, we have a whole separate light system that runs off a 3S battery, a separate 3S. In fact, this little guy right here, this is what runs just the light system. And we have a full hidden light bar up here. It's actually really bright. We have the stock headlights, and on the back we have a Common Sense RC light bar that has different modes. I'll insert a clip of that. And underneath we have the full rock light system, you can see here, using LED strip lighting. So it's pretty cool. It is my first RC car with lights, so that's awesome. So starting on the rear back here, you can get a better visual of those rock lights. We have a Vidavon rear axle, which is just amazing piece of machinery right there. The machining on it is great. The thing is tough. We also have their swear bar, but it has been modified. I had to shorten it and make some longer links for it. Stock shocks still. You can see the sway bar working right there. It's pretty cool. I did the sway bar just so I could get a little more speed out of this thing and have it stay a little more planted. We have Trio high clearance links here. As you can see, they're high clearance, so they're bent. We also have a Trio center section, I guess, transmount, whatever you call it. Stock drive shafts. These sliders slash boat sides are ABS plastic mounted on the bottom, and they work pretty good. They slide much better than metal would. So I'm happy with those. I still need to do a little bit of trimming. I want to round these corners out and whatnot. But on the front, we still have the Trio links up here, and then we have the matching Vidavon front axle, which is just pure beef. There you can see the servo right there. You can see the front rock light section. Just zip tied under there. I did end up using the stock fender liners as well. That makes it look real clean. And rock lights mounted to those. We have Trio shock towers, mainly just for the track bar mount over here. It's an important part, one of the first things that's gonna break on these things. But yeah, the wheels, tires are stock tires still. We have the SSD Monster bead locks, and inside we have Three Bros RC anti-foams, which have held up good so far for this car. It's heavy. This car weighs 37 pounds with the batteries in it, so I am expecting to be going through foams pretty often depending on how I drive it. The battery access is right there. You can see big 7,000 milliamp 4S batteries. I have two of them, one mounted on each side. I went with such big batteries because I don't want to be carrying this thing. So hopefully I don't have any issues with batteries dying, because this thing is heavy. Here's a closer look of the Vidavon sway bar there. Some custom links on it, and ATL fuel cell 3D printed. Had to make some custom brackets for the sway bar. Originally it's supposed to mount out here. The size between the holes is different, so I had to make some different brackets, but it's cool, works good. Holds up you can still get full flex if you lift it up all the way, but it holds it pretty flat otherwise. I can flex out the front so you guys can see. I mean, it gets up there. It's hard to get on video because this thing's so huge. Maybe I'll throw the capper next to it so you guys can see better. And all four tires on the ground, flexed out on a whole other car. Pretty crazy. As you can see, the sway bar still allows full flex, it just stiffens it up quite a bit. So that's my custom SCX6. Thanks for watching and checking it out. You can feel free to like or comment if you have any questions. And plan on making a lot more RC videos and maybe some one-to-one stuff too. So yeah, check out my channel. I want to do a full tube chassis on the Capra too, and maybe I'll record that from start to finish and give you guys some tips on how to do it. But thanks for watching, and I'll end this with a few driving clips.